This book is The Stinky Cheese Man and Other Fairly Stupid Tales by John Sieska and Lane Smith. And today I'm going to be reading some more of the other fairly stupid tales. The Princess and the Bowling Ball. Once upon a time there was a prince. And this prince's dad and mum, the king and queen, somehow got it into their royal heads that no princess would be good enough for their boy unless she could feel a pea through 100 mattresses. So it should come as no surprise that the prince had a very hard time finding a princess. Every time that he met a nice girl, his mum and dad would pile 100 mattresses on top of a pea, then invite her to sleep over. When the princess came down for breakfast, the queen would ask, "How did you sleep, dear?" And the princess would politely say, "Fine, thank you." And the king would show her the door. Now, this went on for 3 years, and of course nobody ever felt the pea under 100 mattresses. Then one day the prince met the girl of his dreams. He decided he'd better do something about it. That night, before the princess went to bed, the prince slipped his bowling ball under the 100 mattresses. When the princess came down for breakfast the next morning, the queen asked, "How did you sleep, dear?" "This might sound odd," said the princess, "but I think you need another mattress. I felt like I was sleeping on a lump as big as a bowling ball." The king and queen were satisfied. The prince and princess were married and everyone lived happily ever after, though maybe not completely honestly ever after. The end. The Really Ugly Duckling. Once upon a time there was a mother duck and a father duck who had 7 baby ducklings. 6 of them were regular-looking ducklings, but the 7th was a really ugly duckling. Everyone used to say, "What a nice-looking bunch of ducklings," all except that one. Boy, he's really ugly. The really ugly duckling heard these people, but he didn't care. He knew that one day he would probably grow up to be a swan and be bigger and look better than anything else in the pond. Well, as it turned out, he was just a really ugly duckling and he grew up to be just a really ugly duck. The end. The Other Frog Prince. Once upon a time there was a frog. One day when he was sitting on his lily pad, he saw a beautiful princess sitting by the pond. He hopped in the water, swam over to her and poked his head out of the weeds. "Pardon me, oh beautiful princess," he said in his most sad and pathetic voice. "I wonder if you could help me." The princess was about to jump up and run, but she felt sorry for the frog with the sad and pathetic voice. So she asked, "What can I do to help you, little frog?" "Well," said the frog, "I'm not really a frog, but a handsome prince who was turned into a frog by a wicked witch's spell, and the spell can only be broken by the kiss of a beautiful princess." The princess thought about this for a second, then lifted the frog from the pond and kissed him. "I was just kidding," said the frog. He jumped back into the pond and the princess wiped the frog slime off her lips. The end. Yep. Once upon a time there was a little old woman and a little old man who lived together in a little old house. They were lonely, so the little old lady decided to make a man out of stinky cheese. She gave him a piece of bacon for a mouth and 2 olives for eyes and put him in the oven to cook. When she opened the oven to see if he was done, the smell knocked her back. "Poor, what's that terrible smell?" she cried. The stinky cheese man hopped out of the oven and ran out the door calling, "Run, run, run, as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the stinky cheese man." The little old lady and the little old man sniffed the air. "Ooh, I'm not really very hungry," said the little old man. "I'm not really all that lonely," said the little old lady. So they didn't chase the stinky cheese man. The Stinky Cheese Man ran and ran until he met a cow eating grass in a field. "Wow, what's that awful smell?" said the cow. The Stinky Cheese Man said, "I've run away from a little old lady and a little old man, and I can run away from you too, I can. Run, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the Stinky Cheese Man." The cow gave another sniff and said, "Well, I bet you could give someone 2 or 3 stomach aches. I think I'll just eat weeds." So the cow didn't chase the Stinky Cheese Man either. The Stinky Cheese Man ran and ran until he met some kids playing outside school. "Gross," said a little girl. "What's that nasty smell?" "I've run away from a little old lady and a little old man and a cow, and I can run away from you too, I can." "Run, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the Stinky Cheese Man." The little boy looked up, sniffed the air and said, "If we catch him, our teacher will probably make us eat him. Let's get out of here." So the kids didn't chase the Stinky Cheese Man either. By and by, the Stinky Cheese Man came to a river with no bridge. "How will I ever get across this river? It's too big to jump, and if I try to swim across, I'll probably fall apart," said you-know-who. Just then, the sly fox, who shows up in a lot of stories like these, poked his head out of the bushes. "Why, just hop on my back and I'll carry you across, Stinky Cheese Man." "How do I know you won't eat me?" "Trust me," said the fox. So the Stinky Cheese Man hopped on the fox's back. The fox swam out to the middle of the river and said, "Oh, man, what is that funky smell?" The fox coughed, gagged, and sneezed, and the Stinky Cheese Man flew off his back and into the river, where he fell apart. The end. And that's the end of the Stinky Cheese Man.